Alright guys, here I am with the Brute and its new transmission. If you look in here, this is the reason I'm swapping transmissions. There's the belt, and it should be all the way over on this side of the pulley. See, there's a guard there, there's a guard there. It keeps falling off. The back of that belt is actually shredded a little bit. This ferry drive setup, it's just trash. With all the pulleys in it, I'm going to drop the transmission and run a single belt from the engine to the transmission. No clutch, a constant belt that's always tight. I mean, I think that would work, wouldn't it? And these wheels actually feel like the bolts are coming loose on the axles. Here's the hydro I have. It's a Tough Torque something. It is only 4 years old and has D-hub shafts. So it's going to be really easy to swap. Now I would swap this one in, and I'd rather swap this one in. It's got 1-inch shafts, oil pump, and cooler and everything. Somewhere under here is an oil filter. There it is. But it's too... The wheels are rusted stuck. They don't want to come off the shafts. Plus this is 1-inch keyed. That's 3/4 D-hub. And I can't find any 1-inch bore go-kart wheels that actually have beads. So if I lose tire pressure, my tire's just gonna fall off. That ain't good. So I'm running these D-hubs. Alright guys, so I'm walking back down to the garage. Got the transmission pulled out. I don't know how much it weighs. It probably weighs 15 pounds, 20 pounds. Don't weigh much. The hydro probably weighs 3 times more with all the fluid in it. Anyways, here's the FNR. She's worn out. This. A lot of in play. Solid. What's that? 3/16? Not 3/16. A little less than an 1/8, but not 1/16. 3/32. Good transmission still. I'll keep it, but I don't know what to use it on. Here's the hydro. I did some measuring. 6 1/4. That axle is 5 and like 5 1/2. This axle 5 1/16. This axle 5 1/16. But these are the mounting bolt holes on the frame that it goes to right here. So it's like, and the old transmission goes out to about here, so it's about this much wider. So it's more, what was that, like 1 inch? So it's more like 6 inches on each side. Ain't bad. I need to get this clip put back on so my fan don't fall off and my pulley don't fall off. I'm gonna see, it's this weird spawn. I have another pulley that would go right on to this transmission that is smaller back here. Where's it at? It's on this one. Still isn't it? That's about 3 inch. The one I have on there is a 3 1/2. So I could pulley swap it, but it's not much of a difference in size. Plus this thing's got some kind of guards already on it here. I need to figure out a shifter. It's your shifter. You can't really pull it too easy. Reverse. I'm thinking run some kind of lever up here. And because it returns to neutral, because it was a pedal hydro, make it where it still does this, so I can lock it into place. So I can, like, you know, not have to have a hand on the shifter at all times. Or pedal drive again. Let's see that all in here. Belts. I need to pull all this junk off. I'm just going to drop the very drop pulley out. This transmission mount arm I'm going to leave in, but this idler pulley is going to come out. I might be able to use that idler down in there. And that big bracket, I might be able to use that for something else too. I'm not sure what. Would have been nice to have for the clutch on this. But I got the clutch figured out. So, you know, Alright, so I'm out here with the old transmission. And these bolt holes are weird. They're like 3 inches apart or so, but like 14 3/4 wide. And this hydro, if I zoom in there, this is all just without it. You can see the narrow bolt holes are on the inside of the frame. And on the outside, they're all the way on the outside of the frame right here. On both sides. So I have this angle iron, thinking if I cut it down the middle, have one piece welded up in here, and maybe, man, I think that's just barely gonna be wide enough. Looks like there's already a hole on this side. I just need to come up through here and drill another hole, cut it in half with a chop saw, weld it in. Let's do some measuring here. This is 6.5 inches from bolt hole to bolt hole. A little less than 3 inches. So yeah, that'll work. I just need to cut it up on a chop saw. Somehow, weld a piece here on each side, drill some holes, bolt it on, and maybe use all 4 of those holes if I have the bolts. Somewhere around here I have more. I don't know. Nah, I don't. I can only use these ones, because these ones are actually the right length. The other ones are too short. And pretty much it's just gonna be these spacer blocks. Well, the holes aren't wide enough for these spacer blocks, are they? Well, I have an idea then. Just cut off a couple pieces of square tubing. Actually, I also have these 2-inch spacers. I'll probably cut these in half and put them on. But I'm thinking, get some of this square tubing down here. Right there. Cut it off and make spacers with that. That should work. Yo, put C-springs, got suspension. Nah, that ain't gonna work out. Yeah, I think that's the plan. Use the widest mounting bolt holes possible. Weld it into the frame. All nice and heavy duty. With, what is this? It's like 1/8 inch maybe. Here, let's find out. About 3/16. 3/16 is pretty strong. I believe this is heavier than a factory Craftsman one. They're about the same. Yeah, they're about the same. And this one's just really, really heavy and strong. It's got some random holes in it. I don't know where it came from. It's got a bite mark from a hole saw. Anyways, I'm gonna cut this thing up. Alright, it's a little while later. About a little while, I mean a couple weeks. Maybe. It's halfway bolted in. It needs a little bit of welding on those rear spacers. It looks good though. As you can see, it has a nice big amount of space here and up there. And it's been lifted about 1.25 inches past factory. I'll get it off eventually. There we go. The dirt levels are still on the same V-hub rims that they were on the FNR. See, it's got these nice big 2-inch spacers and then an 1/8 inch spacer. There's gonna be a weld there and a weld there to keep the flat strap from falling out, because that'll wiggle loose. This ain't gonna go nowhere, and then it's just some longer bolts. Mounts are in factory hole. Now I just drilled 2 random holes. 2 random holes in the factory one. There it goes. The only issue is front mounts. There's a hole there. Oh, that is threaded actually. That goes through. Kind of see that bolt sticking up there. All the way on the other side. Pull this tire off and see for that thread into it. It's I think it's metric. Whatever it is. That ain't it. Let's see, just 2 random holes drilled. And yeah, I just eyeballed those 2. These brackets have factory holes in them here that lined up. I just drilled them out bigger and put them on. And then drilled 2 holes on each side and bolted it in. These hydros are very, look at this. Pinky and thumb. Spinning the axle. You could not do that on an 820, an MST, or a hydro gear hydro. So it's looking pretty good so far. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's looking sick. Now, the other issues down here. This will have to be cut like this. A big loop out of it. Because if I grab this fan over, that ain't gonna fit. So, and for the shifter, I'm just gonna rip the original one off the big one out there. And I actually have a new belt for it. And some carburetors I got from a friend. Anyways. I'm just gonna hook it to this right here. And get it under here and take all that junk out. I don't want to run any clutch pulleys. It's gonna be a single belt from the engine to the transmission that's always tight. If that doesn't work, I'll make a little pivot somewhere back here. Maybe using this factory arm here. Just rotated or clocked around. So, pretty much all it needs is just a little bit of loosening, probably, if any. So yeah, it looks pretty good. But yeah, over here I have a brand new belt. Some Oppie carbs to take apart. And I'm also thinking I might be able to get this factory shifter right here to hook up here to the hydro engage disengage lever. And then I can use the stock shifter to be able to like just pop it into a certain part of it, whatever, and be able to push it. Because hydros don't like to be pushed. Alright, so I've done a little bit more work to the brute. Not too much. But if you look down in there, there's the shifter. Stock pedal. The issue, right, is it has this much reverse travel and has this much play, right? So it only has that much reverse. And having only that much reverse is gonna suck. If you look, it's just kind of hooked into the stock clutch mechanism. And you can see all the plays right there. And I tried to add some washers up there to minimize it, but it's still pretty bad. Because if it wasn't for that, it would have probably double or triple that reverse amount. And I mean, yeah, that's enough reverse to move, but not to move good. That much play is bad. So, I mean, look at how much that pedal moves. So I'm gonna have to find out something different for that. Or fix that, probably. I could take all the pins out and just weld it. But the issue is that also it goes like this. So then it wouldn't be able to rotate. So I'm not completely sure if there's really a way to solve that play. I might just have pretty much no reverse, you know. Or I'll redo the shifter. But at least it halfway works. It'd be good for a test drive. Alright, it looks good. More clearance. It's on. Rolls. Belt's on. Now it just needs a clip. Front transmission mounts in. Shifter. Looks pretty good. Oh yeah.